The new slot.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So we have a presentation now for the MYSTI, Muslim Youth Scholar Training Center. These are the three groups that they will be presenting their work for the last semester, one semester. And they completed actually a hackathon. How many of you know hackathons? The hackathon we do it here. We have fun programs. So one of this EPC is our page. That's what we start with. Beginning from the grade 1. Then we started debate. And then after that we have done summer project for summer. Then and then we have the hackathon. So this is the from the hackathon, we can found the technology to solve social problems. You see what happened. And from that, we take top 3 teams, and those 3 teams under the will be presenting their work here. So MYSTI, we have been doing these things for under the now I see it is at least 10 years because we had a panel discussion today. I don't know how many of you are in the WhatsApp group? Anybody in the WhatsApp group? If you go to WhatsApp group and you see that we have posted, we have a panel discussion. We're fortunate to have one of our past participants, and you will hear from him. There is Amar. And he participated like this teams from the 2015. We did 2015, and you see what he has done. After the so we got further staging this thing. So we have 3 teams, and Dr. Faisal is down, and he is instrumental in this internship work. And Dr. Faisal is alhamdulillah, he's a computer scientist in the professor at George Washington, and we also chief scientist at that. With that, Dr. Faisal, inshallah, will be so we have 3 presentations as Stephanie was mentioning. So I will very quickly introduce them so you have a little bit of context, where they're coming from. Our first thing is going to be Jannah Quest. This application or this framework that you are going to see, this platform, it enables when you have sick Muslims in nursing home and different institutions or even at home or in hospitals, how do you go, how you organize the community in Muslim. So this platform will be presented to you. Brother Muhammad Udiyan is going to be doing the presentation. Each team will have about 20 minutes. And as you know, all of these teams have won the hackathon, and then they are refining their projects, refining their products and platforms more to bring that in front of you. So what we are going to be seeing today has been the result of a lot of progress that has been made since the hackathon that happened last year. And the second presentation will be called Ummah Fund. It is an Islamic education scholarship platform where you can enable Islamic scholars and also students with crowdfunded funding so they can accomplish their endeavors. That team is going to be Zaid Manfuz, Abid Noor, Sultan Zakaria, and Ehsan. They are going to present the second. So these 2 teams are college teams that I just mentioned. The third team that we're going to have today is going to be a high school team. And the high school team also participated in the hackathon, and they won. They also went through the mentoring process. This project is called Pure Sunnah. This is an AI-assisted transcriber for Islamic thought. A lot of time, you might hear a big khutbah, And then you realize that, okay, no, I heard a lot of good topics, but what can I easily take away or put that into my notes, right? A lot of time I have realized myself personally, when I'm listening to a football or I'm listening to a lecture, obviously at the Juma, it's not possible for me to take notes. But if I'm listening to even some lecture by some scholar, it gets very distractive when you are trying to take the notes and also trying to listen, right? So this app will help you with both listening and transcribing without you paying attention to your notes. So it will do it for you, and you can link it to it. And this is a high school team by Fayaz Islam and Ruai Fihok. So they will be presenting that. So with that, I'm going to invite Mohammed Dian to present. You have a good. Anyone before? Yes, he's one. So that so just what else we got about a lot of people so today I'll be presenting agenda first. That we and a few of our partners have worked on the past months. And it pertains to facilitating the visiting of our Sikh Muslim brothers and sisters. I'll get started. Before I tell you exactly what the app functions, I want to give a bit of context by way of hadith as well as a discussion that a friend and I had a few months back. So this hadith is found in Muslim, which Allah's best of Muslim Sallam says, who amongst you is fasting today? Abu Bakr said, I am. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said again, Bluetooth mode. Who amongst you follow it? Abu Bakr said, I did. The Prophet said again, who amongst you serve food to the needy? Abu Bakr said, I did. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, who amongst you has visited sick today? Abu Bakr said, I did. There are plenty. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, anyone in whom these good deeds are all combined will certainly enter paradise. So pay attention to these things. So pay attention to these 4 points as we go on. Next slide, thank you. So just for a bit of background, around half a year ago, me and my partner Muhammad Jama were talking, and this hadith that I just related to you, that I just narrated to you guys, was brought up in the conversation. We're talking about it and how feasible or easy these requirements were, and we both agreed that 3 of the 4 were actually fairly easy to accomplish. You have the janazas, in which alhamdulillah we frequent a masjid that has janazas that aren't too rare, so it's just a matter of playing the waiting game. And then there's also this app that exists out there called the Amin app, in which you're notified of any janazas that take place within the DMV area, as well as the masjid that it takes place at, where exactly the funeral is happening. So the janazas weren't a problem. Then there comes the requirement of feeding the needy. And thanks to the ease of access to the internet and all of these different online charities out there, as well as any local food banks that might be in the area, feeding the needy is also a requirement that isn't too difficult to actually fill. And then the 3rd requirement, fasting, that's alhamdulillah probably the easiest of the bunch. If you want to maximize your reward, maybe you can coincide your fasting days with the white days, Monday, Thursday, avoiding Fridays. So fasting, it's also easy. What we both agreed was the hardest of the 4 was visiting the sick. You find it very rare that like a figurehead or an imam within the masajid are going to announce to the congregants that someone within the community is sick. It's very rare that you come across that. And if you don't want to take the route of just hearing it announced in your masjid, maybe you ask someone, maybe that someone knows someone. It's, again, very improbable. So this was a pain point that we figured out through just the reflecting of this hadith. And initially we thought of just starting a WhatsApp group chat within our communities,
that help with the coordination of actually, visiting these sick as well as, just finding them in general. And after a bit of digging, we found out that one such group exists in our community. Only issue was the logistics of how it was ran and actually like marketing it to the communities was kind of poor in that regard. And we realized after joining why it was that way. Maybe they wanted to do this for maybe wanted to keep it like low key for security reasons. Not completely sure, but there also came the issue of being able to actually how do I say this? Like you join the group chat and you want to visit one of our sick Muslim brothers and sisters, but maybe the patient got buried in the group chat as it was going on all these years, and it just coordination was poor with the group chat. So we thought of an app to actually accomplish this. And this idea remained, just that an idea and thought for quite some time until this summer. Let's go to the next slide. Until this summer, in which until when Mafiq hosted their annual hackathon. So they hosted a hackathon, and alhamdulillah, we prototyped and actually ended up winning the hackathon. So this win, alongside resources that we were provided with by Mafiq, these resources being in the form of mentorship and so on, as well as Mustafis actually bringing us to see our Muslim brothers and sisters around these different healthcare facilities within the DMV, and just seeing how the simple act of actually visiting them was able to light their faces up in such a way is what really pushed us to actually go forth and build this app. Uh, two slides. Yeah. This probably should have been further up, but I'm a computer science major, and my teammate Mohammed Jama, who sadly couldn't make it today, is an information science major. And I'm going to go ahead and demo the app just to show you guys how exactly it is that it works. So I'm gonna be logging into an account that's already created, but if you are logging in for the first time, you're gonna be met with a screen that prompts you for a masjid code. So in order to keep the app a bit more secure, in order to use the app, you're gonna have to go to your masjid and maybe your imam, the imam at that specific masjid, and get a code from said imam in order to actually access the app. This is just so that we don't have randoms infiltrating our app and potentially enacting their malicious intent. So we log into the app and we're greeted with this home page, in which we have some encouraging hadith at the top that rotate every once in a while to actually go ahead and visit the sick. And then we have this facility card. A facility card is a healthcare facility within the DMV that we may have partnered with. And within these facility cards, we have different uh, time slots that you can book. These time slots help with coordination. So I could create one right now. I'm currently a chaperone, so I'm allowed to do this, but normal app users aren't. So the flow would look as following. You'd see a time slot, you'd book the visit, you'd get information on your visit details, as well as information of a chaperone. A chaperone is our connection to these facilities. As you know, there's a lot of politics involved with these different healthcare facilities, be it by way of like HIPAA regulations and so on. So having a chaperone from one of our communities that is also close with the staff of these different healthcare facilities is going to be very important in actually being able to coordinate these visits. So you have a chaperone that is essentially going to bring you around these facilities to see the different patients. So we're going to confirm our booking. Booked. And then we're going to go to the My Visits section. Yeah, and then it'll pop up right here. So this will be the day in which you have to go to the hospital, and then you'll meet with your chaperone in order to go see the different Muslim patients at said hospital. There's a group chat for coordination, as well as the ability to, text or that's not good. Text or call the chaperone that will be leading you on any particular visit that you go on. You also have the ability to, request to be a chaperone or request to add a patient. This is still a work in progress as we're still sorting out the legal obstacles or hurdles that are associated with such a request. That's a high level overview of the app. I'll go back up and present. Our efforts over the past few months in terms of outreach have been visiting the masajid you see up here, and essentially bouncing off our ideas onto the community members that may have had similar experience in visit coordination. And alhamdulillah, we've received very good feedback from these visits, but we do hope to conduct more of these visits in order to, one, increase our number of chaperones, because they are a very important part of the app and its success and it being able to function at a fundamental level, as well as, receiving more feedback. Next slide. Another very important effort that we've had over these past few months is actually reaching out to the facilities themselves, the facilities that house these Muslim patients, whether it be rehab centers or actual hospitals and so on. Um, so, yeah, so wait, no, no. So yeah, we've spoken to a number of like actual staff at these different healthcare facilities, and alhamdulillah, they're all very willing to cooperate. They love the idea, and it's just a matter of actually finding a chaperone within the proximity of any of these given facilities to actually handle the paperwork and take our community members on these visits at any of these given facilities. So yeah, this is going really well, but we really need chaperones. So if anyone's interested in being a chaperone, then please reach out to me afterwards and we could work something out. So, I briefly mentioned earlier, but HIPAA regulations are something that are a bit of an obstacle for us. That were a bit of an obstacle for us, rather. But after consulting a few legal professionals, lawyers, we've been able to like kind of work around this by assuming the position of a entity like DoorDash or Uber, for example, in which we're only acting as a middleman that facilitates the visitation of party A and party B, nothing else. And the main point that was emphasized by these lawyers and legal experts was creating a strong terms of use policy, as well as making sure both parties consent on the app. And alhamdulillah, we handled that pretty well on the app. So we have these grounds covered, and our efforts over the next few months is probably going to be reaching out to legal clinics at universities that are able to further help us validate our terms of use policy. Next slide. This is the conclusion of my presentation. Guys, please feel free to contact us via that email if you guys have any questions, feedback. And if you're interested in being a chaperone, you could scan this QR code right here. And the app is actually live on the App Store as of 2 days ago. So if you look up Jannah Quest V2 or V1, sorry, on the App Store, you should be able to see it there. There's still some dummy data that I have to get rid of, but the app is pretty much done now, alhamdulillah. And if you go on there and register early, that's probably a good thing, inshallah. So, thank you guys for listening.
It's like a really good presentation. So then we're gonna have about 5 minutes Q&A from the audience. If anybody has any question, any comments, any feedback, please feel free to provide that. So you can be here. So we'll keep it 5 minutes, and then also you can share your contacts if anyone is interested in sign up.
Yeah. Yes.
So let's say I sign up for the app. Does it send me like a calendar reminder? Does it connect to any of my other apps so that I can schedule my schedule accordingly? Does it give me an opportunity um, to have, to join the WhatsApp group for other deciding for whatever that may be?
Yeah.
Does it send reminders to the masjid? I know these are three different questions. So let's start with the first one. Will it sync to any of my calendars so that at least it is on my unified calendar?
Great question. That is currently not a feature. I'm going to note this down though, because that's probably a really good idea to have it actually sync to my to sync to calendars. Yeah, that's a great idea. We were thinking of just doing something as simple as push notifications at first, just like a reminder, maybe an hour a day before the actual visit itself. But to actually sync to calendars is probably more productive for our users. So thank you for that. Inshallah, that's something we plan on doing. Thank you. Any other questions? Oh yeah.
Who can be a chaperone?
Who can be a chaperone? Anyone within the community. We'd probably try and talk to them first to make sure they're of sound mind. Of if they're make sure that they actually attend the community, attend the masjid that they say they attend, as well as someone that's able to get past a background check, because at these facilities, whenever they want to have someone be a volunteer, which is essentially what our chaperone is going to be to these facilities, a volunteer, they have them go through a background check. It's not like too extensive or anything, but as long as you have like a relatively clean background, then you could approach us, and inshallah we could definitely help you be a chaperone. So anyone within the Muslim community that's able to pass a background check is my answer. Yes.
We have gone over this, but practiced it, but how are you taking outreach to this different messages?
It's
That's almost there, so we think they accept our requests on behalf of it's confidential, but I'm sure so Adams Adams has been branches from the DMV, in Virginia for now. I know that they would jump on the opportunities.
Yeah. As for like how we actually do that, it's something that we haven't figured out yet. Actually, it's kind of just, hey Mohammed, do you know someone that knows someone? Like, do you know someone at this masjid, that masjid? So it's really just us trying to like use our connections to the best of our ability. If anyone knows someone that's like a figurehead at any of these masajid, then please let us know. We'd love to speak to any at any of these masajid. So, yeah. We haven't figured it out yet. Yeah. Thank you.
So I just have a quick comment, which is I think, the way you are, because I'm part of the group that goes every Saturday to different actually nursing homes. And we have exactly the same process. Even when I take Nora, who is only 13-year-old with me, they also need to know if she has a clean background. So they're very strict. It depends on nursing homes. So I think, you're already addressing that. I would also suggest you to do something like a community admin. Like, if somebody is like in our area, we have Brother Mohidul, he runs this group. So he knows, who I am, if I'm part of the visit group, right? I can be just a stranger.
Yeah.
And just, hack your code.
Yeah.
If my worship code is 0001, if I'm a hacker, I know there is a worship code, right? So that's very easy to figure out. But if you have some delegated admins in the hierarchy, and their job is to vet people, I think, winning the skills, because you might have at one point somebody in California, I don't think you said, right? But you have no idea who that person is.
Yeah.
But you have one vetted person in California, it's going to be his job to vet others. So if you can create a vetting chain, I think because, we are dealing with PII, and sensitive data, it's going to be, I'm not guaranteeing that it's going to be 100% secure, but you're going to have more security. You can have 10,000 people using it, but somebody knows somebody who that person is. No one from, Belarus is signing up and collecting all the data.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get exactly what you mean. Yeah. So yeah, like, do you think it should be like a separate role, like not the chaperones, because that would require
kind of the lowest level, right?
Okay.
They are busy, but somebody has to be above the chaperone, who's managing the chaperone, right? And then somebody may be above that. In the DMV region, we have one main admin.
Yeah.
who doesn't know who the chaperones are, but knows like, okay, this person is for Adam Center, this person is for some machine in Maryland, or this person is for some machine.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
if you have some hierarchies,
Yeah.
the top person might not know the bottom person who is the chaperone.
Yeah.
But will know somebody in that intermediary. So if one chaperone is doing something wrong, I can go and I can check, okay, how does this chaperone get better?
Mm,
And we can weed that out very quickly.
okay.
Right?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
that's great.
you
Yeah,
find out that you have 2,000 bots signed up,
Yeah.
and they are just collecting the data. So
where's
I would go off of that and say spiritual leaders are probably the best person to manage shopper because they're doing the same thing and going out on weekends.
that's true. Yeah, yeah, it is true.
it can be that person or can be somebody delegated. Like, in Adam Center, Imam Mahdi is probably have 10,000 other things to do. And he can delegate it to you and say, okay, anyone who comes in, you don't know that person, just let me know that if I know that person, right?
Mm,
So we don't want to have any kind of infiltration or have any kind of, bots or anyone from overseas kind of joining and just taking on it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
You mentioned that you're going to be talking to legal firm to strengthen your legal.
Yes, terms of use. Yeah, yeah.
I would suggest that you look into also indemnity documents, indemnify, meaning that you are covered from data use.
Indemnity and
Indemnify, it's a legal word.
Okay.
What it means is that you have already declared that you are not responsible for how people will
use.
take data.
Yeah. Okay.
Check your data, how. Where people do just simply download.
Okay.
So those are.
Indemnify. Is that like a lengthy process, expensive process? How does that?
Basically, an indemnity statement
Okay.
that
Okay.
go into your legal state.
I see. Okay.
And add or gonna need the light with your account.
Yeah.
Or setting up whatever they need to, for as a chaperone or as a guest. They will have to agree to it.
Okay. Okay.
And that make it stop, because on the app.
Yeah.
It's been useful.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely look into that. Are you a lawyer by any chance?
I want to go.
Work with lawyers? Meet again.
So you have to.
Yes, last question.
Policies and stuff like that, when you're signing. up
Good.
something.
Yeah, yeah.
You can move on to as well as the ball. Good. You good?
Say just the community aspects of it, right? So when you are.
But is that better in that sense?
Yes.
Easy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're making a project where you can go any book, much more. Better solving, which can then. I think that possibly complete.
This is on YouTube.
Do something like sign up with an email, but then verify, validate.
Who's in the benefit?
Yes.
Good enough. Oh, Mafiq.
Yeah.
That's wrong, right? But you definitely want to think about the user and the signer, because we don't want to make that.
Yeah, it's something that we've
Mafiq.com.
deliberated
How are you?
for a while actually, and
Oh, Mafiq on YouTube.
I
So
think to an extent we're willing to sacrifice like the like ease of use or the convenience of the user in order to keep the app like relatively secure. So yeah, the code isn't like the most foolproof method, but it's something that we've seen to be it's like kind of feasible for now. We'll keep thinking about it. But I really thank you for that.
And I think you wanted a straight. Somebody, start Sway, who is the head of the school, but we should have a message.
Yeah.
He's still here.
Inshallah, I'll be a great.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Thank you.
We'll get you, I'll get you some.
Thank you. Exactly.
Okay, thank you so much, Mohammed. So then we have the next team. We are actually
okay.
running the time, so inshallah, I'm gonna invite the next.
We just got it.
Zaid Mahfouz, Abid Noor, Zakaria and Ehsan Hamza about the Ummah Fund. So you can come in, do your presentation. You have about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna have a very quick Q&A. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Zaid Mahfouz, and I am one of the members of the Ummah Fund team. I have also Ihsan Hamza, Abid Noor, and Sultan Zakaria, who are my partners throughout this project. We just want to say that it was a really great honor working with Mafiq throughout the project, and their resources that they provided us, and how much they helped us throughout the project. And yeah, we'll get into it. Ummah Fund, just a little background information. Well, inshallah, these are some of the things that we'll be going through. But the background information, Ummah Fund originally started out when we first did the hackathon. I believe I forgot when it was. It was in November last year. It was a couple of months ago. But when we first started the project, the idea was to have a interest-free microloan platform for Muslims. And so, while Islamically, this is something that we need within our communities. When we went into the research in the early stages of our project, we realized this is something that wasn't, something that we could finish within the time limit that we had, which was, January. And there's a lot of complications, and there's a lot of details that we didn't really research originally during the hackathon, because during hackathons you really just want to get a product out and show the judges in theory what you want to work on. And so some of the things that, or some of the ideas that we had, or some of the things that we saw were complications, were like the financial licensing requirements, how the state by state regulatory, issues, and how much, legal things that we'd have to get into, and the liability, the high legal and operational costs, and, things of that sort. And so a lot of these constraints would have required us to get into, legal entities and, different jurisdictions. That was just really not feasible for this project. And so what we did is we kind of switched gears to a different, project. And that project is something in terms of something that we felt is unique and is not present in our communities, especially in the DMV area. We, talk to each other, and we recognize that we don't have a platform where students of knowledge who want to pursue higher education, whether it's in high school or attending an Islamic school, or going to alim courses, things of that sort. Sometimes they don't have the funds to pursue that, and there's sort of pressure to going into the route of getting a job and pursuing it later in their life. And so after discussing with our team members, we wanted to stay within the financial area. And so what we thought of is creating a platform which serves as a hub of scholarships from these institutions. So Zaytuna College or Medina University or Qalam, or these different institutions within the U.S. and outside of the U.S. We wanted to create a marketplace sort of, where these scholarships can be found by students who want to pursue Islamic education. And we'll talk further about how they would go about that, and show some future implementations and what we were able to get done. Okay, so some of the key questions that we asked was, how can we enable large scale Islamic education funding without becoming a financial institution, while ensuring donor trust and student legitimacy? So in our research, we found that current scholarship platforms, they focus on general academic fields, but they don't adequately serve Muslim students who are strictly pursuing Islamic education. And there's no centralized global platform which is dedicated exclusively to funding Muslims who want to pursue an Islamic education across all different education levels. And what makes it creative is that instead of moving the money, Ummah Fund will be facilitating the movement of information, verification, and trust. So we're going to act as a middleman between the person giving the money and then the student receiving the money. So we don't have to deal with any of the money ourselves, which releases of a huge burden regarding legal issues. And in terms of our impact that we hope to have, we want to have a scalable system that funds Islamic education on a global level. And obviously, we want to comply to our Islamic laws, which is avoiding riba, and we avoided loans and regulatory risks, which is what we ran into in our previous idea. And we also want to create long-term Sadaqa Jariyah impact. So a litmus test for us is having a live website where schools are able to get verified, and students can also get verified, and donors can fund education without any uncertainty.
And here is our project summary. So, like Hassan and Zaid already explained, what Ummah Fund is a direct-to-institution Islamic education funding platform, which means that we never actually handle any of the money. What we do is we facilitate the movement of money from donor or organization or individual to the school of their choice. And like they already also explained, unlike the traditional scholarship marketplaces or financial platforms, we act as actually a verification layer. So we go through a vetting process of students. We verify the schools. We will show you the criteria soon. And we ensure that charitable funds are structurally restricted to Islamic education only. So we only focus on Islamic schools. And we make sure that they're paid directly to the institutions. And from there on, the institution and the student handle the money. Yeah, so this new model emerged after the extensive research that Zaid was talking about, where we ran into regulatory and legal issues with our previous endeavor. And so we're trying to make this loan-free, interest-free, and align our project with Sharia. And this is the school vetting criteria that I was talking about. So what we decided is that each school that we look at, or each school that comes up in our database, we're going to vet them. And this is the criteria that we're looking at. We want to make sure that they have a real Islamic identity, right? It can't just be a four-year university that offers an Islamic track. Their main goal must be Islamic education. We also want to look at their legitimacy. So we want to see if they're a legitimate institution, not just run out of somebody's basement. We need to look at their structured program, see if they actually offer programs that the students want to attend. And we look at the curriculum, see what they teach, because these students that are enrolled here, if they require a scholarship or not, through the Islamic curriculum, we can figure that out. We want to see what their Islamic orientation is, right? We want to make sure that they're, mainly Sunni Aman, just for our own sake when we are, we're funding this education. So when we're looking at the bigger picture of things, how are we getting rewarded and judged from facilitating these things? Yeah, we want to make sure that they actually have a public presence. They have a website that students can apply through. And we have our own employees to have this review process.
Okay, so now let's talk about some actual technologies that we use in creating our project. So the first thing that I want to talk about is our front end is built upon TypeScript and React. So when we were doing research, trying to figure out what the best framework was for us to build our actual project, we're at first thinking just using like HTML because that is like the simplest thing to do. But eventually we decided on using TypeScript and plus React because we found out that it's sort of one of the best balanced frameworks that give us a website that actually looks really good and has really good compatibility with a lot of different laptops and also works very well on mobile. So yeah, we use TypeScript and React. We also have all of our data is stored on Supabase. So if you guys haven't heard of Supabase before, it's under AWS. It's one of the technologies that are given from Amazon, and it's really similar to like Firebase, which is a lot more commonly known, where it's just something that you can store types of data as like a table on their cloud, and really our thing just connects back to that to get data. And we're actually hosting our website live on Vercel, which is just a website that can host any static HTML or static TypeScript page. So our thing is actually live right now, and anyone can access it if given our link. Authorization. So we have a login page on our thing, and I'll just make sure that anyone that's on our website really can't access a Superbase unless you make an account, rather as an admin, a donor, or a student. I also want to talk about some of the more logistic technologies that we have. So, for example, how we actually verify the schools. Really, what we do is, and a lot of this work is just done by ourselves. We go out and research some common schools that are out there, Islamic education schools, and one by one we vet them with the criteria that we talked about the slide before. We also have donor controlled scholarships, which is basically scholarships that are created by donors themselves. We have to verify that these donors are in fact actual people that are intending to help people pursue Islamic education. And like we talked about before, direct to school payment instructions. What this means is we don't actually handle any money. Whenever a donor wants to make a donation, that money never really comes through us. Instead, we're kind of the third party that connects the donor to the student. And then after we choose which student wins, we're going to connect the student to the donor. So in that way, we don't actually have to touch any money ourselves, have to deal with any of the legal issues. And a lot more directly, we can connect people who want to give out scholarships to students who actually deserve scholarships. Then we also have a lot of audit logs for transparency. So whatever scholarships are made, whatever accounts are made, all the applications, they're all saved on our on the Superbase database, which gives us access to whatever's going on. And yeah, the stuff that we uploaded before, any technologies that we have to deal with linking bank accounts, getting money into our bank account, we've pretty much avoided it all completely. Because again, we connect the students to donors directly, and we don't have anything for those. Yeah.
So you may be, thinking, why are we mentioning loans in, this project? But originally, our original idea was to, help out students or people who may need help in terms of paying medical bills or paying off their colleges, things of that sort, which Muslims, unfortunately, sometimes do have to rely on, taking out loans and to help them, pursue their education or anything of that sort. And so we still wanted to keep that aspect within our project in terms of if someone wanted to, pursue Islamic education, we didn't want them to feel any financial burden, even if it's not taking out loans per se, but if it's, asking a family member or asking community members, they may feel a certain type of way where they don't want to do that and may feel embarrassed. So that's just another aspect or another thing to keep in mind. And in terms of product planning, what we did is really we asked the community, what they thought about our product and if this is something that they feel like is what we need. And through their, feedback, we were able to kind of implement some of the things that they wanted within our website. And then that, allowed us to transition to the research and guidance. And so we went back and forth on this in terms of, where do we, where should we start in terms of getting this project started? And, start with the Sharia laws and the outreach, which institutions should we reach out to that can partner with us and, also collaborate with us. And then the simplicity, making sure that this was a simple process for the donors, for the students applying and things of that sort. And throughout the project, we had an ongoing refinement. Since the beginning of our project, we had to go back to the drawing board multiple times. We met with our mentor, and he told us, yeah, it's not going to work. So, go again. And so we did this over and over throughout the project. But alhamdulillah, we were able to create a working platform. And then, of course, we had the technical considerations, making sure that the product was reliable and safe. And this is something that, that the website would be, user friendly. All of these things combined led us finally to our prototype and our testing, which we will show you shortly, inshallah.
So before we do the live demonstration, I just want to talk about some of the achievements we have made.
In terms of research, we identified a critical gap in existing scholarship platforms through our research. And we found no centralized global platform that's dedicated exclusively to Islamic education for Muslim students. So, and we highlighted the need for a purpose-built solution, which led to the creation of Ummah Fund. Now, in terms of our project outcomes, we have developed a fully functional scholarship platform with secure data storage. And this platform enables donors to create scholarships and also make donations. It also allows for students to apply to scholarships. And they can also browse through different scholarships and see which one they want to apply for. So this is some of like the tangible things we have achieved doing this project.
And these are some of the lessons that we learned while going through our project. So the first is that conducting thorough research is essential for identifying real world gaps and building solutions. So without actually doing the research, we can never actually find out what issues need to be addressed and you know what the public needs and what the ummah is actually needing. And that's how we identified this issue and how we're trying to solve it. We also learned that clear communication between team members is necessary for uh, effective collaboration and success. Without actually collaborating and communicating, we would have, we all have different roles. Without actually having that clear communication, we wouldn't be able to properly form this website. We also learned that time management is an important thing. We were given, I think, it was like 3 months to complete this. If that 3 months is not properly used, or we didn't allocate our time correctly, we would have had to wait till the last minute. And alhamdulillah, we used all 3 months. I think we did a good job with it. And learning and applying new technical skills was one of our biggest keys to being successful. A lot of us are information science, computer science majors. And what we learn in school is just what we learn in school, but when we actually apply it, that's how we can, build something to change the world.
I also want to preface that Sultan is a bio major actually, so alhamdulillah, he was also able to help us a lot throughout this project, even though it was, very technically surrounded or whatever, technically centralized. But shall we move to the next slide? And these are just some future work that we want to do. Of course, we want to expand the platform to support a range of schools, not just within the DMV, but hopefully around the United States and eventually globally. We want to also work on the verification process, more I guess stricter verification process for donors to make sure that they're transparent and we can trust this donor and their eligibility to actually become a donor. And we also want to do a automatic automation really so that we aren't the ones that are manually checking each application. We want to integrate an AI chatbot to help users if there's something they need, help them navigate the website if that's something that is needed. And then obviously we want to expand the platform with additional features such as advanced search filters, application tracking, dashboards, and so on and so forth. And so if we go on to the next slide, we will start the live demonstration, inshallah.
All right, Bismillah. So this is the homepage of the website that we made. As you can see, this is our mission. We want to help knowledge. We want to help spread knowledge, help the community, and help Muslims get Sadaqah Jariyah. And if you scroll down, you will see the available scholarships that we have. These are right now just some example scholarships. You can view any of these scholarships, see their information. Students pursuing a degree in fiqh, you'll see the amount that the scholarship is offering and how many students are meant to apply for this. So the first thing that we recommend people to do is to actually go to the profile page and make a profile. So if you don't have an account, you can sign up. We'll sign up as a student. We'll name ourselves guest 123, and the password very secure 123. Sign up. I'm not saving that. So now I'm logged in. This is my account, and you can also see all the scholarships that you have applied to. So this will give you access to whatever you have so far. If we go back to our homepage and we'll look through the scholarships that are here, let's apply for the HIF scholarship. So we view the scholarship intended to help students of the Quran apply for the scholarship. So then you basically just go here and you just write down all your information. You write down the name of the scholarship that you're applying to, and then you write down your academic info as well. There's also an essay prompt which we haven't talked about because our thing is purely merit based, which means that we're not looking at financial need. Instead, we kind of want an essay from the users, and we want their essay to really show their Islamic intent, like what they really intend to pursue after they continue with the scholarship. After certifying, they would be able to apply for the scholarship. If you also go up here, you can see a list of certified schools. So these are some schools that we actually went through, did a lot of research, and found out that these would be ones that are Fund certified. So Al Maghrib Institute, Dar Al Qasim, Qalam Institute, yeah. The last page I want to show you here is the Give Sadaqah page. So this is for the page for people that actually want to start scholarships, or even for just normal people. You can donate to our website, and this money will go towards us rather maintaining the website or also just a pooled Fund scholarship. Well, this is a scholarship that will basically be sponsored by us from the money that's donated to us. You can also start a scholarship rather as an individual organization. You can put your information down here. The amount that you want to offer it into the number of people. This will, of course, have to be verified by us first. And after we verify it, this will show up in the list down here. I do want to show you guys basically our admin page, which is where we store all of our data. All the applications that we get will come up here. Scholarships that are currently active are here. And we have access to all the donor accounts, all the student accounts. And this is basically where we do sort of our verification, our authorization of actually verifying these scholarships and getting them on the page. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you. Jazakallah khair. So we are actually running out of time. So no Q&A for this session. Because we have to have another session here at 12:30. So inshallah, Jazakallah khair. Imam Fans, if anyone has any question for them, please reach out to them directly. And inshallah, they will be able to even give you some demonstration if you are interested in this platform. All right, so we're gonna have our third presentation today, and then we'll have a quick break for the other panel sessions. So the third team is a high school team. They're going to talk about their project Pure Sunnah, which is the AI assisted transcription for Islamic knowledge. So please set up, and inshallah, we're gonna have your presentation. Please be prompt. Take about 20 minutes, no more than that.
So that's very good. How do we control this? As far as pictures.
On the slides.
Just down, pitch down, or
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Fayaz.
My name is Roifi, and this is our project, Pure Sunnah, which is AI with Islamic values. Next slide. So right now, like as you know, AI is a big thing. So most AI currently, most tools, they fail to align with like Islamic values, and they tend to give misinformation. Misinformation is one of the biggest like issues of AI today. So this presents like a lot of dilemmas and problems with Muslim users and can result in like challenges that happen because of it. Next slide.
Next slide. So the Pure Sunnah solution, we're an AI designed with Islamic principles. Pure Sunnah is an innovative AI web app created to align with Islamic values, offering users a trustworthy and ethical experience in using technology. So we take khutbahs and speeches and we transcribe and give summaries to people so they can learn better and they can focus on the khutbah more while getting their notes. So next slide. So how it works, we use the Whisper API, the AI model to recognize the voice of what khutbah is being played and enabling users to engage with the app and enhancing accessibility user experience. We also use ChatGPT 3.5 to provide it responses, ensuring that users receive the correct information. And we validate it using a fine-tuned AI model that is trained on Hadith, Sunnah, and knowledge from Islamic scholars. Next slide.
So some benefits that we've already gotten with this. So we've continued to get like more accurate responses throughout our website use. And our app ensures that AI technology is adhered to this Islamic ethics and it promotes more integrity and fairness and accuracy. So another thing, like I said, it's more reliable, less misinformation, which is and it minimizes like how wrong you could like AI could be for you. And it builds trust within like having this AI that can be reliable for you. That's right. So inshallah, in our future vision, we're hoping to expand and have more accessibility. So right now, our web app supports up to 4 languages, which is Arabic, English, Urdu, and Bengali. So, and we want to be able to expand that so it can support more languages and be able to have easier experience for multiple users. Sorry.
So what we need funding to provide for further development. We need expertise to improve our site. We also need your support. We need funding because the API, because we have API tokens, and right now we're just running it by you have to input your own API token. But in the future, we want to be able to have it open to other users without them needing to input their own API token, because that's complicated and that takes money. Next slide. So we're gonna demonstrate now. Here's the link if you want to see it yourself. But this is the fun part of the presentation now. You can know.
So here you can view our app. So this is if you want to go to the homepage, you're able to view it. Basically, it's a quick summary. You have FAQs at the bottom. So we're gonna actually show you. So if first of all, I want to ask if anyone wants to give their own khutbah real quick. Does anyone
Just like
come up?
just like 1 minute short khutbah. So we
If
can like
not, it's start because we have another thing. Okay, that's fine.
But
So-
another functionality is that you can upload an audio file. So what I've done is I've downloaded this khutbah as an MP3, and we're gonna upload it right here. So I'm gonna upload the audio file.
Yeah.
File
Yeah.
uploaded.
There you can choose to like if you click play recording, it'll actually play it back for you.
Mhm.
So you're gonna be able to hear it. And if you click summary, it will generate a summary for you. So usually this takes about 30 seconds
Mhm.
at maximum. It can support up to 30-minute videos. Inshallah, we're hoping to up that to about like an hour. So through like improving our AI.
Mhm.
And it gives, and if you want to try this for yourself, again, you can go to the link and you can look at the instructions are on the bottom of the site.
Mhm.
So inshallah, it should be working. We just have
We also support 4 different languages. As we said, we support English, Arabic, Bengali, and Urdu.
so it's just taking a bit. How long does it take? Usually,
The
Depends-
thing
it
we
depends on
upload
the-
is like 17 minutes. So,
yeah, it depends on the.
but it will take like a minute.
So like usually like shorter videos, they take like maybe like a few seconds, like 10 seconds, like longer ones, they take like 32 like a minute. This is
Well, that happens. We
Oh.
can
but yeah, we can just like inshallah, like if anyone wants to come up later and just like do their own khutbah, like, and we can just demonstrate it because right now it just takes a bit, you know. That's why like we want to improve our AI so we get faster responses. So does anyone have any questions already? Because if we have time for that.
Oh yeah, here's the summary.
Oh, there we go. So yeah,
So
I think you can read that.
yeah, the khutbah was about calamities and this is basically a summary of this YouTube video that we played that we uploaded.
Yeah, okay. So does anyone have any questions?
All right. I think that's it.
Alright.
A quick question, do you guys only have web application, no Android or iOS?
Right now, it's only a web app, but it is compatible with like your phone and tablet. So if you wanna use the actual, like, so you can just search it up on Google on your phone and you're able to use it there.
We're gonna work on adding it to the Play Store and the App Store later on.
Okay, yeah, I think you need a lot of work to do on the UI part. Yep. Any question from the audience, anyone? We have a few minutes here.
What if you uploaded a file that wasn't an Islamic lecture? Like, what if it's just a random audio file?
I guess I know. So basically, our fine-tune AI model, what we have also done, if it's not relevant to Islam, it will like point that out and it will provide a response that is like stating this is not relevant to Islam. You may just want to generate something else. Like it'll identify that for you.
But if you upload like a song,
Yes.
maybe it's a nasheed, but it's not really a lecture, what's gonna happen then?
I mean, if you upload Islam, if it's like Islamic related, I guess it
If
may
it can interpret it,
if it can interpret it, yeah.
as if it can interpret it as something Islamic, then it will trigger a response. If not, it will point you in a different direction.
Okay, right. Because one of the problem with cybersecurity is somebody might be trying to attack your app by just uploading garbage. And by the time you figure out that this is not an Islamic content, you already used a lot of tokens, right? And it's already taking money or it's already using your value. So can you prevent something from just getting through before processing? So that could be maybe process like first 20 seconds of the content and see what happens. If it is Islamic, proceed. If it's not, then just give an answer that, sorry, we can process through that. Yeah.
Yeah, just building on top of that, maybe like a rate limiting feature so that even if it is Islamic content, you don't want them to upload like a billion lectures, then your token usage would be through the roof, right?
Yeah.
Of course. So you put in a 30-minute video, saw that the response was pretty small. How can I change the length or the detail of based on something?
So inshallah, we're gonna add features to like help with more like user like freedom and stuff like that. So we're gonna be having features like you can have longer summaries, you can give like bullet points, stuff like that, instead of like having just like a medium-sized summary, giving like most. So right now it gives like a medium-sized summary with like give me an overall point of view of what it is. Inshallah, we want to make it so you can like have more freedom on how you want your summaries to be
We're
like.
gonna experiment with different prompts and like you can specify the length and like what type of summary do you want.
Absolutely. Any other question? Anyone for this team? All right, Jazakallah khair everyone for coming today for the MYSTI presentations and congratulations to all three of the teams. Overall, I think 19 teams participated in the hackathon in July, right? Out of that, all the winners, and then also out of the winners, all the teams that wanted to participate in the internship program. And we have these 3 teams coming up with almost production ready, artifacts. So this is really milestone. So thank you all 3 of the teams and congratulations on your good work. And Jazakallah khair and all the participants and everyone here for coming. allow us to present. Yes.
So what's next for all these teams? What's the next step?
Yeah, so next step for these three teams would be if they want to pursue their products to a next level, like, production, then Mafiq is going to support them. So I think, that's what Brother Mustafa is and everyone is gonna work.
So they come into the.
Is exactly. So that is going to be the next step. And then also every year the hackathon happens in June, July timeframe. And then three teams from that or more teams that they want to go through this process. Not every team that goes through this process actually survives. So these teams are actually the final winners that are coming and presenting the right. And as you saw, like, you guys at second team had a lot of content, so we even have to, shorten it down. But I think each of these team can present for almost an hour. We have the lunch upstairs, and inshallah, we're gonna break here and go upstairs. After the lunch, there is gonna be another weekend. Thank you so much. Yeah. Because this is gonna happen right after. Turn off this one.
I sit again. Press the power button.
Sponsor and usually it's off. You have to use the comments. With that, I want to ask for money. But there is a donation where donation will come eventually. So you now that during 5 minutes will go to the area where you now because there are donations.
Okay, I think he's about to leave.
And you have to have. As you do it down, you can actually open the path of the money through you go better because once you handle one aspect of money, you can handle second, because you're connecting the borrower.
People would say like your research, like say like it's see their legal native.
So how do you provide context?
No, I understand. We were just like, honestly.
That was one of the original issues that we had. Which was a lender. And now that
like that used to.
it's quite specifically, there is no solution, so straight not small. So, it is, $1,000. Yeah, so it's grand. No, that was the easiest. That was the easiest way. No, I think about that, yes. Also, there's something called.
Still going to shop day.
And right. How, what does that mean?
I would know.
The.
I didn't know that.
And.
Are you?
Have people really open it outside and pouring. So always.
I first.
Yeah.
Sure. What's the? So maybe
Sun coming.
I can describe this. So they have like a very managed. Yeah, like
Suppose on the carpet, tape and presented it as her idea. And she had upstairs. So now there were two separate ideas together. What you're doing is basically integrating a grade or sort of like a case where you first have Laura, then you have other devices. Now you can take the same idea and open it then healthcare or family refugees. And at the same time, on the other side, you can have organizations, individuals and organizations. It's the sort of, right?
Yeah.
Next step would be endowment.
Yeah, like,
You know,
that was the for.
So almost one reach, then
Rulemaking was a big.
Yes, electing
Access.
mother. Well,
So track and
a
before.
very dynamic
very manual.
way of utilizing.
Yeah, you have to. That's another good goal. You need to put them on.
I think I'm very impressed by guys, amazing, and especially coming up with the teacher stack and understanding it and then applying it. That's the process. My name is Zubair Nizami. Yeah. Your name?
Do that.
Yes, sir. Very nice. So you guys are in college?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, mashallah.
That
Yo, what class?
Security was expensive and globally.
So you're in the medical.
This, the government, they give you some.
I didn't apply it.
So it's not necessarily pure production.
So you are going in the actual.
Especially with people like
Not
AI nowadays, that was our case. The same AI tool that's helping you, then give access to other.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's better. Our ways.
You guys are
Oh,
information.
it's how you used to do.
Yeah.
Something.
So,
Yeah, other than that, I
very-
think the feature is really good in
Compliance and all
models.
because that's where you really control.
Yeah, but no, yeah, but I know.
Otherwise, cybersecurity is basically your worker.
So, graduating.
Just congratulations. Good luck to all of you. For the job. I really like that. No, I'm not.
Oh.
I don't think
And probably even helps like after.
And then management.
Actually focus on.
Yeah,
I think that's why. Yeah, so
On one side.
good.
So
Yeah, the first
we have a background contact and the second side, I manage.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Our.
Supply chain basically. You look at upfront.
Was.
Traceability. But the same traceability can be applied on.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. You need to get your lunch.
All right.
You're still in the field, you're still working?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
say I'm part of the, and we're trying to study this series where we bring professionals in the field and kind of have them talk to the students, so like, I don't know how your availability is, but we can.
So
I know you live here,
I
right?
have MD, UMD MSA, I follow.
Oh, really?
You guys.
That's awesome, sure.
I know who the
President.